Hello guys, it's me again. We'll be doing part 2 of Algebra grade 12. So now we'll be taking different questions, but basically they are more like related, but they are different. So the first question we'll be doing is 3x minus 6 into x plus 2 is equals to 0. And then you equate each bracket to 0 because already this thing is factorized. Say 3x minus 6 is equals to 0, or x plus 2 is equals to 0. 3x is equals to 6. You transpose 6 to the other side, it becomes positive, and then you divide by 3, you get positive 2. And then you find the value of x to be 2. And then on the other side, you say x is equals to negative 2. When you transpose this to the other side, the side changes, and then you get x as negative 2, which the marks that were given were like 2 marks, which these marks are only for the x values. And then the other question, 1.1.2, you have 2x squared minus 6x plus 1 equal to 0, and then they've told us that it is to 2 decimal places. Since now you have these equations and they have told you that it's to 2 decimal places, meaning that you'll use the quadratic formula, which is x is equals to minus b plus or minus into b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And then our 2 will be our a, and our negative 6 will be our b, and then our positive 1 will be our c. And then x is equals to minus into negative 6 plus or minus into negative 6 whole squared minus 4 into 2 into 1 all over 2 into 2. And then you punch in your calculator. Negative into negative 6, close bracket, minus into negative 6 whole squared minus 4 into 2 into 1 over 2 into 2. It's equals to 0.18, or x is equals to 2.82. And then we are done with our question. We found the values of x, which for the first value of x is 0.18, and for the second value of x is 2.82, which, like for the question, it's 3 marks. And then for the first value of x it's 1 mark, for the other value of x is 2 marks, and then for correct substitution is 3 marks. And then the other question, 1.1.3, which is inequality question, which is x squared minus 90 is greater than x, and then you transpose x to the left hand side, which will become x squared minus x minus 90 is greater than 0. And then now you factorize the binomial. You open 2 brackets, you equate to 0, you write your x, and then you find the vectors of 90. When you multiply them, they give you 90. When you add or minus, they give you negative x, which will be 10 and 9. And then the greater number takes the negative sign, which is 10, and then it's going to be positive. And then you equate each bracket to 0, which is going to be x plus 9 is equal to 0, or x minus 10 is equal to 0. And then transpose negative 9 to the right hand side, which will become x is equals to negative 9, or x is equals to positive 10 when you transpose 10 to the right hand side. And then you drop back your inequality sign. For the small value of x, the inequality sign will change, and then for the greater value of x, the inequality sign will remain the same. So since negative 9 in this case, it is the smallest value of x, meaning that it will change the inequality sign. X will become lesser than negative 9, or x will become greater than 10. And then the marks for these questions are 4, which for values of x it's 1, and then for dropping your inequalities it's 1 mark, and then for factorization it's 1. And then 1.1.4, you have x minus 7 into x, it's equals to negative 12. And then we don't like dealing with negative signs, so we make sure that these values here become positive by transposing negative 12 to the left hand side and negative 7 root of x to the right hand side, which will become x plus 12 is equals to 7 root of x. And then now, since this we have a root, to remove the root we need to square both sides. What you do on the right hand side you do on the left hand side, which will be a square root of that and square root of this. This will cancel the root, and then this will become we'll FOIL it and multiply the two brackets, which x multiplied by x will be x squared, x multiplied by 12 will be 12x, and again x multiplied by 12 will be 12x, and then 12x plus 12x will be 24x, and then 12 multiplied by 12 will be like 144. It's equal to, and then 7 squared is going to be 49, and then since we cancelled the root, it's going to be x is going to remain, and then x will multiply 49, it's going to be 49x, and then you transpose 49x to the left hand side, which is going to become x squared. For negative 49 minus 24 is going to be minus 25x plus 144, it's equals to 0. And then you find your factors of 144, which you're gonna press the calculator and say 144 is equals to shift fact, and then you find it that is 2 to the power 4 and 3 to the power 9 to the 3 to the power 2, sorry, 3 to the power 2 is 9, and 2 to the power 4 it's I think 16. Yes, it's 16. So now you found your factors, you open up two brackets, you write 16, you write 9, and then you write x, and then since here it's positive, here it's negative, the signs are going to be the same, so it's going to be negative, and you equate each bracket to 0, x minus 16 is equals to 0, or x minus 9 is equals to 0. And then transpose negative 16 to the other side, it becomes positive, x is equals to positive 16, or x is equals to positive 9. And then the marks for this question is 4 marks, meaning that you get a mark for finding the values of x and factorization, and also for indicating which one it's not equal to that and which one is not equal to that. So to find that, you're gonna, after finding the values of x, you're gonna sub them back to the original equation and say 16 minus 7 into root of 16, you get negative 12. And then you come back to the right hand side, you find negative 12, meaning that x is equal to 16, and then you come again, you do 9 minus 7 root of 9 is equal to negative 12, meaning that both values of x are correct. Now we go back to 1.2, which we have 2x minus y is equals to 2, and xy is equals to 4. So now, since you have two equations, you have to create a third equation. A third equation can be created from equation 1, because you can see we have a single term, unknown term there, which is y. So we transpose y to the right hand side, we say y is equals to 2x, and transpose 2 to the left hand side, it's going to become negative, going to be negative 2. And then now you have equation 3, and you have 1 and 2, which were given. Now you sub 3 into 2 because you develop 3 from 1, so you cannot sub 3 into 1 because it comes from 1. And then you sub your 2x minus 2 where you see y. X into 2x minus 2 is equals to 4. And then multiply 2x squared minus 2x is equals to 4. Transpose 4 to the left hand side. 2x squared minus 2x minus 4 is equals to 0. And then divide by the lowest common value, which is 2. Which 2 divided by 2 is going to be x squared. 2 divided by 2 is going to be negative x. 4 divided by 2 is going to be negative 2. It's equals to 0. And then you find the factors of 2, which is 2 and 1. You open up 2 brackets. It's equal to 0, which is x and x, 2 and 1. And then the bigger number takes the negative sign, which is negative 2 and positive 1. And then equate each bracket to 0. X is plus 1 is equals to 0, or x minus 2 is equals to 0. X is equals to negative 1 when you transpose positive 1 to the right hand side, and x is equals to 2 when you transpose negative 2 to the right hand side. And then for this question, it's like 5 marks. But after finding the values of x, you have to find the values of y. Meaning that after finding the values of x, you substitute x into the third equation, which y is equals to 2. Where you see x, you substitute x, negative 1 minus 2, which is equal to negative 4, and y is equals to 2 into 2 minus 2 is equal to 2. And then the marks, which are 5, will be given from the equation of y, for the values of y and the values of x, and for factorization. And then for the next question, which is 1.3, we have 2 multiplied by 5 to power n minus 5 to power n plus 1 plus 5 to power n plus 2. So in this case, they're saying that show that 2 multiplied by 5 to power n minus 5 to power n plus 1 plus 5 to power n plus 2 is even for all positive integer values of n. So we know from the laws of exponents that 2 multiplied by 5 to power n minus 5 to power n multiplied by 5 plus 5 to power n multiplied by 5 to power 2. Using the laws of exponents of addition, we take out the common factor, which is 5 to power n. 5 to power n into 2 minus 5 plus 5 to power 2, which 5 to power n, putting into the calculator, 2 minus 5 plus 5 to power 2 gives you 22, which 22 is an even value. So in this case, they are saying that is even for all positive integer values of n, meaning that you have to take out the greater odd value of n, which is going to be 5 to power n multiplied by 11. And then the even value for all positive integer will be 2. And then for this question, it's 3 marks, which will be given marks for the final answer, and then for using the law of exponents. Thank you.